Just a further note, I'm looking at the shape files and map rectifications that you did for Downmill, which look pretty good, in all fairness. However, there's a couple of things just to point out. First thing is, it is helpful if you put the source map inside this field when you're doing it. Like if I open up this one, for instance, open attribute table, it's got the points on there, geolocate surface samples AGG as the name of the file. But it doesn't actually tell me which map, either in the name or in here, which map these points were rectified from. So, okay, so it's not a massive problem in this because there's only a few. We can find it, right? But if we had more maps, then we would be searching for ages trying to find it. So helpful. And also, yes, it's just helpful to do that. So if you want to do just a quick bulk update on that, then what you can do is if you just edit the features, start editing, and then when you have the attribute table open, if I can see it, attributes table open, and if you basically select everything in there, either on the map or in the table, it will select in both positions. And what you need to do is you just select the top point in this list and the bottom point in this list, and then you can just bulk update the attribute. So it will bulk update all of the attributes for that. So we're going 0, 0, 0, 8, 5, 1, 5, and then just click into something else. And now you'll see that it's just bulk updated all of that stuff. So then you can just save the edits. Where's the editor gone? Here it is. Then you can just go, yeah, save edits, whatever. So then they're all in there. That's good. And you also don't need to have separate files for each of the different ones inside the report, provided that the report map, the source map that was used to do the geolocations, is updated. Then you can have as many as you like. It's just one file with all of the coordinates in it, and then the different source maps. Okay, so that's that. Just a little bit of maintenance, administrative stuff, just to make it easier. Second thing is, if we look at the different maps that we've got rectified, so there's 3. So we're looking at this one, and we've used this map to rectify those points. And then if we turn that one on and off, and we look at the next map, you can see, we'll just do the top 2, you can see that it's actually out. These maps don't rectify over the top of one another. So if we zoom into this area, which is where a lot of the samples are coming from, you can see the distance from there to where it is on the other map. It's actually 331 meters. So it's 331 meters out, which is pretty significant if you're talking about the relationship of these samples with those samples. So the issue is that if you've used one map to rectify some of the points, and then you've used another map to rectify the other points, but the rectifications are different, then that means the relative position of the points is going to be different. So they may have done a line here with some samples in here, and then you've rectified it off one map with one rectification for these, and then another map with a different rectification with these, and the relative position between those two sets of points is different. So we need to just make sure that we use the same rectification for different maps to make sure that the relative position of points that we digitize between those maps is the same. That way, and if they're all in one file, then it'll be easier to administer. And that way, if at some future point in time somebody wants to shift the points for some reason, then they can just shift all of the points. Whereas at the moment, we've got different points and they're sort of inconsistent. You see what I'm getting at. So it looks like you've got this map and this map. So you've got 1, 2, 3 different maps, and they've all got different rectifications. So when you rectify the maps, best thing to do is just go with one of them, and we're going to compare them to the base maps. It's always being compared to the base map. So that one is nicely, like if you look at that position, which is where this bulk of this data, or we look over here or there or wherever, you can see that that map is nicely rectified against the roads. Whereas if we look at this map, we can obviously see that it isn't. Like, it's shifted quite significantly from where the actual roads are. So this map and this map, we need to re-rectify. We need to re-rectify them, and then any points that were digitized from this map to this map need to be adjusted to make it all consistent. So because it's a case of just picking up those points and then just moving them, it's not a huge deal, okay? But in future, when we rectify the maps, just make sure that all the maps rectify over the top of one another in the same position. So I'll stop the video there, and I may, I mean, if I do it, then I'm just doing it for you. So it's not a big job, because what we'll be able to do is anything which was rectified off one of those other maps. So that was rectified from that map. So I would suggest that we just shift everything so that it's all consistent with this map, because that's the one that's consistent with the cadastra underlying cadastra anyway. So these other points that were digitized from one of the other maps, like that line, and I think there's these lines in here. Yeah, so there's another map which is that reconnaissance line. So if we reposition this map and then we edit that layer, we'll be able to just pick up all of the points and just drag them into the new position, and then they'll be right. And then obviously update the coordinates. So it is pretty quick, like you can just pick them up and move them. But we need to re-rectify the map so that they're all on top of one another. I think it's going to take more than half an hour or so to sort this out, so it's not a big job. All right, I'll stop the video there.